Section 4, we're looking at angles and arcs of our circles, and we are continuing on. So, first thing is a central angle. So the central angle is an angle whose vertex is at the center of a circle. So if you have a circle and you draw an angle, here's our center, and you draw an angle out, this angle right here would be called a central angle. So a central angle is any angle that is formed at the center. Okay, so those would be central angles. Okay, those are central angles of our circles. Okay. Now, next thing we have is arcs. So there are three different types of arcs that we have. So we have a minor arc, a major arc, and a semicircle. Okay, those are different arcs we have. Semicircle is always going to be half a circle. Okay, a major arc is an arc that is larger than half a circle or a semicircle, and a minor arc is any arc that's less than half a circle. So if it's less than half a circle, then it's a minor arc. If it's more, it's a major arc. Whenever we're naming arcs, we always will name it with the two letters, kind of like the endpoints of it, like with line segments and everything, except we do a little arc above it. Okay, a minor arc will only need two letters. A major arc will need at least three. Okay, so it needs at least three because if we only name two, we're assuming it's the minor part of it, so the shorter one. Okay, we always try to do the shortest distance. So major arcs should always have three letters. Minor arcs should only need two. Okay, semicircles should also have three because you have two halves of it. Okay, so let's say I have this circle and I have a diameter here, which we're going to label as x and y. I have another point z, and let's just do that. So I want you to take a second. I want you to name a major arc. Okay, so a major arc, there's two major arcs I guess you could do. You could go x, y, z would be a major arc. Okay, so x, y, z could be a major arc. Also yxz, so if you go yxz, that would also be a major arc. Minor arcs, there's two of them that you could choose from. xz would be one, or zy. And you can reverse these letters, so if you said yz, it's still acceptable. And then semicircle, so name a semicircle. xzy would be your semicircle. You'd want three because you don't just want to say xy because I don't know which half you're talking about. So that would be your semicircle. So a semicircle goes from point on the diameter to point on the diameter. Okay, measure of arcs. So the arc measure is always equal to the central angle. So if I have a circle and I have this central angle, which we'll say is 100 degrees, okay, if we're assuming that's the central angle, that means that this arc is also 100 degrees. Okay. If this measure is 30 degrees, then that means that this arc is 30 degrees. Okay. If this right here is 50 degrees, then this arc is 50 degrees. Okay, so whatever the measure is of the central angle, the arc is going to be the exact same measure. Okay, they're going to be equal to each other. Okay, so Theorem 13.9 states that if you have two adjacent arcs and you add them together, the larger arc is going to be the sum of the central angles. So if we take, let's say this was 30 degrees and this was 70 degrees, okay, that means that these arcs would be 30 and 70. So if I wanted to find the length of the entire thing, all I would do is add them together. 30 plus 70 is 100. My central angle would be 100. The arc would end up being 100 also. Okay, that's what it would be. Okay, so here's your homework for this section. A lot of it is finding central angles and those arcs. And yeah.